Hi, I'm Shaul for Focus Camera, and I am here reviewing the new Nikon DF, the old school, new school, brand new super mega camera. Rock and roll? So I want to discuss the old school features of this camera. Although it's full of technology, doesn't shoot video. Personally, I'm not unhappy, but I like the fact that it's a camera's camera. It's not all about video. It's in that way uncomplicated. So although it doesn't have video, it probably has all of what we're used to in this digital age. It has a full range of ISO from ultra low to 12,800. So as far as I'm concerned, you could shoot in outer space. 4 other ones going up to H4. That's probably in the 20,000 range. I'm going to assume that it is low noise, that level. And given the manual range of this camera, it might just provide a really incredible creative photography. In the hands of the right photographer, it's going to just provide a very real photographic experience. Button placement, for me, is natural. It flows with what I know in terms of shutter speeds. Aperture is all controlled on this dial here. Of course, in the old days, it would have been on the lens itself. The buttons lock. Again, that's very unusual in this day and age. Everything seems to be all at the click of a wheel with your thumb. So it's nice that you can click this in and it's not going to move unless you actually pull it, turn it and click it back in. So it's not going to change on you. You cannot blame this camera for photographer failure. It's your fault if you get it wrong. Lenses. Every lens that ever fit Nikon from 1979 till yesterday fit this camera. That's really cool. This particular lens is the 50mm 1.8. On a professional basis, it definitely holds its course, although I'm surprised it only takes a small SD card, not a CF card, which as a professional photographer I prefer. Second option would have been a CF and an SD card. But if I were in studio, of course, I'd probably have it tethered and I would just shoot tethered. So in that regards, perhaps they could have made it a little bit more professional friendly. Maybe it's not meant to hit that. The overall features of the camera, very old school feeling. It's very light, I like that. Quick access to dial buttons on the top and the side. Typical inputs here. And typical button placement and features on the back, including a good sized monitor. A rotating dial here, which accesses your aperture modes. Of course, as I say, here is your shutter speed mode. All the other buttons, as far as I'm concerned, are, again, old school, very typical in their placement. As with all new cameras, you have the pleasure of buying all new batteries. Also within there is, of course, the SD slot. As mentioned, I personally would prefer a CF card, but that's just me. So the Nikon DF is a flashless DSLR. Again, as I've said, it's very much an enthusiast's camera. And I think with regards to that, they've said, no, we're not going to put a flash on it. You can put a flash on it, of course. There's a hot shoe and a sync button. In studio, it'll work perfectly well as a studio camera. I think that it's a great camera regardless of the fact that it doesn't have a flash and it doesn't have a video. I'm sure it has many more features that I have time to review right now. But yeah, if I was given this and told to take a plane ticket somewhere in the world, I could take this confidently and know that I could survive perfectly well in low light and very bright situations. It's important to remember the roots of photography. Again, that's why I like this camera. It's not for everybody, obviously. Some people prefer a fully automated camera. I don't. Old school look, new school body, or new school insides at least. I think it's valuable. I think it's good. A question that might come up is, who is this camera good for? I would say it's really good for a serious enthusiast. Maybe not a professional, just because of some of the elements that are not available to it. But if you really want to learn about photography, the key to learning photography is to come off of the automatic features and to use it manually. So it offers a lot of that. I think possibly even the way it looks is enticing. It marries well with the old school visual idea of photography. So whether it's an old Nikon, an old Canon, an old Leica, etc., 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 it's as I say, it's a very realistic, honest enthusiast's camera. So that's the wrap up on the Nikon DF. I'm Ben Shaul, benshawlphotography.com, where you can see my work. And of course, this is yet another fabulous film from Focus Camera. I love the look. I don't know if looks really matter. I think a lot of people think that looks matter.